Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chuckie Thomas and I am the ADHD Screenwriter. And in this episode, we're going to talk about pitching and why it's terrifying. I'm going to give you 5 tips to overcome that fear. Again, I'm Chuckie Thomas and this is the ADHD Screenwriter. Welcome back, or maybe this is your first time. So welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe and comment below with all your ADHD struggles. Now this video is all about pitching. I like to think I'm really good at writing, right? If I do say so myself. But what am I not good at? Pitching. Now I've got a lot of experience now, but it's always terrifying because what happens? ADHD up here the whole time. Waiting, anticipating, worrying. I'm going to help you get over it. If you got your own stuff to pitch, give you 5 tips. Let's get started. A few years ago, I was invited down to the South Georgia Film Festival, which is a great little festival down in Valdosta, Georgia, if you ever get a chance to go. Well, while I was there was a pitch fest going on. There's a studio down there, and the heads of the studio were just looking for projects, films, TV shows, whatever. Well, I found out kind of late, right? So here's my problem. I was dead last in the pitch fest. And I mean dead last as in I was past the allotted time. Like this thing was supposed to be like an hour and a half or something, and I was like an hour 40. So those people were maybe not really listening to me because they were 1 foot out the door already, right? My problem was I'm sitting in the audience. My brain is up here. ADHD is going crazy thinking, oh, this is going to go wrong. I could say this wrong. What if they say this and I'll do this? Too many scenarios. It's just up in my head. So my tip here is if you have the option, go sooner rather than later, right? And that ADHD chaos mode will enable, and you'll have a better chance at least like if you're like me. It's the same thing that happens to me is if someone had walked up to me in the hallway and said, hey, pitch your thing right now, that chaos mode goes boom, and I'm able to do it. But if I'm sitting there worrying, anticipating, thinking of all the possibilities, it just doesn't work. So my tip is go sooner rather than later. Thrust yourself into those situations. Just try thrusting. Maybe I should work on the phrasing of that. I mentioned all the nerves that you can get from just sitting there waiting. Another way you can get rid of some of those nerves is to just be prepared and practice, practice, practice. And it sounds simplistic, but it's the truth. The more you know your pitch from forward to back to forward to side, the easier it's going to be on you. When you start the pitch, you know how long it takes. You know, you can maybe have a few diversions here and there and add some jokes if they're really feeling it. You're like, yeah, I've got them. But you've built that in there already. This isn't like a surprise. You know your pitch so well that you're just able to just boom, get it out there. And when I was doing the pitch for Pocket Doctor, the project I talked about in the previous tip, I had practiced it so much that when I got out there, my brain essentially turned off and I was just able to just boom, 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 knock it out. The waiting was the problem. But the problem was not that I didn't know what I was doing. So my tip is practice it in the mirror, practice the pitch to your friends, your neighbors, your enemies, your dog, whoever will listen to you. If you don't have anybody, just do it to yourself over and over again in the mirror. Just make sure you know it by heart. And maybe you need the script in front of you. I would highly suggest getting to the point where you don't need that script because some people will be turned off by the fact you're reading. And that sucks, but that's just the way it is. Most of the pitches you'll be doing have a real life time limit. So you can't go on for an hour or two. You've got a few minutes, really. The pitch I would mention in tip number 1, I think was 10 minutes. And the ones I've actually done the most were online. Stage 32, if you're a filmmaker, you've probably been on there before. It's like social media for filmmakers. They have where you can sign up to do pitches online through Zoom for studio heads or managers, agents, whoever. And I did a lot of those for my master's degree, and it was actually part of my research into that. So I had to do a lot of those. And part of the idea was to get used to doing these, right? And get over the stupid fear. And it was still tough, but whatever. But the thing is with these, it was 8 minutes, very specific, right? But you had 8 minutes to sign on, introduce yourself, pitch, and then you've got a few minutes afterwards. So, and that's what I talked about practicing. If you don't practice that, you're going to go way over the 8 minutes, and they'll cut you off. Like you will be done. They will say goodbye. So you've got those 8 minutes to do that and get out, right? So the stronger your pitch is and the more practiced you are, you will have time to introduce yourself, say, haha, how are you doing, whatever. Do the pitch, which, 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever. And then you factor in time to do the stuff afterwards. Because honestly, that's maybe another 50% of the pitch is the after talk after the pitch, where they ask you questions, which is good. If they are asking like, oh, what do you think about this character and that interesting arc that you brought up, or this interesting theme you brought up? If they're asking questions like that, that's great. That's what you want. You want them to engage with it. If they're kind of turned off and thinking like, oh yeah, that was great, see you later. Well, you probably didn't hit it, but whatever, that's okay. But the thing is, you got to factor that in. So the more practiced you are, you hit those marks and you get that time to really pitch yourself as what you're doing after the film or TV pitch. You're pitching yourself as a person, as a filmmaker, and as someone who they want to work with, right? So practice all this, factor it in, and remember, you've got that time limit, so you got to honor it. So one of the times that I was pitching my TV show, Pocket Doctor, during my whole master's deal on Stage 32, the guy stopped me towards the end and said, hey, is this a medical procedural show? And I said, why, yes, it is a medical procedural show. And he said, I don't like medical procedural shows. And I said, well, that's funny because that was on your bio. I didn't say it out loud. It was on your bio. That's why I signed up for this. But he said, I'm really looking for features. Do you have any thriller features? Well, lo and behold, I have 30 plus scripts that immediately my brain was like, uh-oh, all right, let's flip through the Rolodex and find something that he's looking for. So that's the chaos mode thing I mentioned. That actually worked in my favor because I was immediately able to be like, boom, I got this. Boom, I got this. Boom, I got this. And one of the scripts, he actually said, you're a cool dude. I don't know if I could use this script or not, but I want you to send it to me. And he asked me if I'd won awards for stuff. And I said, yes. So you just want to make sure it wasn't some clown. And he said, you know what, here's my email. And it cut out. No joke. I had to go find his email elsewhere. And then I emailed him and he said, thank you. It was nice meeting you. And then he ghosted me. Yeah, that's showbiz, baby. That's how it works. But I got to that point because I had a portfolio of stuff. So my tip is here, expect the unexpected because it's going to come up. And if I didn't have those other scripts, I would have just been like, I don't have anything. And that would have been the end, right? I would have literally wasted my money on that. So not only have a portfolio, just get ready for these pitches to go zigzag and zop or whatever. Like they're not going to go one straight line, especially if you do a bunch of them. You're going to quickly see how off the rails they can go. Just bake it in, be prepared. That's why you got to be prepared for these things. Just get ready for things to go haywire and you'll be fine. So you pulled off a pitch, you successfully pitched it within the time limit, and they signed off, and now you're sitting there wondering, how did we do? Well, my tip here is just right off the bat, temper your expectations. Like I mentioned, I did a lot of these pitches for my master's and other stuff. And one thing I've learned is no matter what they say on the other side, it doesn't really equal what's going to happen after the process is done. I had some that didn't really go well, but they sent really good feedback. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And more importantly, I've had the opposite happen, that I had some people that asked a lot of great questions. They were super into the material. They related to the material. They thought it was relevant to today's world. They could see the film. I mean, it was all going great. We had, great back and forth, and we were interested in talking to each other. And we're like, can't wait to talk. And got probably lower scores than I was expecting at all. I'm like, oh, all right, cool, thanks. The point is, you just don't, you can't really expect anything. But these people are doing like 5,000 of these things a day, and they see all these people. They can't, I don't know, like they can't just sit there and say whatever to 5,000 different people. Like, everybody's going to get their own experience, and they're going to be cordial to you, and you're going to be cordial to them, right? And you're going to get the notes back, and maybe you get your feelings hurt because you have ADHD, and you have that ODD thing going on where you're like, screw you, old man, whatever. That's fine. Don't actually email them that, but you can feel that all you want. Just know that it's not personal. As someone who's been on the other side, as co-owner of HOOTY HOO Productions, production company, and we've had people pitch stuff to us, and we've had to fire people. We've had to, people submit headshots and stuff, and we have to tell them, look, sorry, we don't have a role for you, whatever. It's not fun, and we don't mean anything. It's just business, right? So just remember that, and what you should really be proud of is the fact that, unlike most people on Earth, you wrote a thing, and you put yourself out there to other people and said, I wrote this thing, it's really cool, you should check it out. Most people don't get that far, and you should really be proud of yourself for doing that. So keep on pitching. So that's it. That's 5 tips to hopefully make pitching less terrifying. It can be scary, but the more you do it, the better it gets. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe and comment below. I want to hear from you. If you've pitched stuff, I want to hear how you got over your own fear, or maybe it went terribly and we can all commiserate about it in the comments. And of course, lastly, if you're using this video to disassociate and not write or work on your pitch, how about you go work on your pitch or write or whatever, and then come back and watch all our other videos. See you next time. All right, episode 9, intro, take 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. My name's Chuckie Thomas. I am the ADHD screenwriter. That's close. Screenwriter. Check, bop, bop, bop. Oh, okay.
Just 1 sec here.
I gotta do vocal warm-ups before these. Wop, wop, wop. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
All right, good go.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back.